As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be
Oh
a
man,
home
it's
run.
8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a...
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
BravBros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of BravBros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I'm your co-host, Steve Russell, joined by the delicious Crab Rangoon. So what's up, dude?
No, somebody in our group chat sent like a picture of Crab Rangoon for some reason. I don't know why.
He said Crab Rangoon alert.
Oh, it was incredible. Yeah, my response was, "You're telling me a crab goon to this?" But I don't know if everybody got that one. So yeah, nobody's. I'm gonna stop right now. Actually, no more
That's okay.
goon talk. No more goon talk.
I thought it was a good one, but yeah, that is exactly right. As soon as he said that, I was like, "Ooh, that's a good name. I'm gonna put that in the pocket for later."
That's a good one.
Yeah, but we are here with our members. This is a live streamed episode. So if you want to join into our next live streamed episode, we do this once a week with our members only. So if you're a BravBros members, you'll get the link an hour before we start the episode. It gives you access to the episode a day or two before we drop it in the main feed. You're able to interact with us during the recording and ask questions at the end. So if you want to join in on the fun, click the link in our Instagram bio or at the bottom of this episode description to sign up. It is $5 for the month, $50 for the year. And now that we got the business out of the way, first and foremost, what's up to our members? Thank you for joining. We got quite a few of you in here, which is awesome. We love to share our process with you and try not to get distracted by the comments on the side. But as I said, we're here to talk a little RHOSLC in the season that keeps on giving, because holy shit. Every week, I'm like, all right, it's got to slow down eventually. We got to have one slow episode. And no, it gets better and better. I'm running out of pages in my notebook.
Do you have one notebook dedicated just to RHOSLC?
No, but if you look at the notes I've taken for each show, usually it's like 4 pages, 4 to 5.
Yeah.
RHOSLC has been consistently like 6 to 9 pages of notes because
Nice.
so much happens from each scene. Like there's so much shit packed into each scene that I got to make sure I get it all. So it's it's costing me some doubloons over here because I got to keep buying notebooks.
Yeah, this is one of those shows, and it's really funny too because I've been watching a lot of like old Roni and reunions will pop up, but RHOSLC does it too. When you have subtitles on, my favorite thing in all of these shows is instead of it saying specifically what people are actually saying, it just says all women talking. And then sometimes it'll say talking over each other or something like that. And I'm like, this is incredible. I love when they do that because they're like, we're not going to spend any time typing this out because you can't hear it. We can't hear it. We don't know what the hell's going on either. Everybody's talking at once. Who cares?
I like when they use adjective to describe how they're talking. Like talks placidly. It's like, oh, that's an interesting word.
Okay. Better than placidly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like when you ease into it. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. But we are getting ready for the holiday season. As we said, we recorded our Southern Charm episode earlier. We will have plenty of content for you guys this week, and we'll have stuff for you next week. We're going to have to figure out what that is. What episodes we're going to do next week, because it is not a full Bravo slate. There's a lot of shows taking 2 weeks off. So we're going to figure out something to do. Don't worry, because we are content machines and we plan on continuing to churn out the content. But I do want to bring one thing up before we jump in. And Amy Donnelly in the comments posted it here. And that's Jared made it Insta official. And we need to discuss before we jump into the episode the fact that it is now Insta-official, if you want to say. That's actually not bad. That's the first time I've said that. Is that a thing?
It's not bad. I don't think it's
a thing.
It's the first time that one of your words has actually just kind of flowed perfectly.
Thank you. I'll take it.
All right, I'll take that. I will ask you this. Did you see what Jared's daughter said to it?
Oh, no.
She's a fucking lunatic. This won't last.
That's what she said about Britney? Yeah. In the comments or like on her own page?
In the comments. In the comments, yeah. So, I mean, look, Jared's a fucking lunatic too. Crazy attracts crazy. So they could last, honestly. Who knows? Probably not.
I could see them lasting. I could also see it just being toxic and tumultuous, and That's crazy. I didn't know the daughter said that. That's hysterical.
Yeah, I think this is reactionary to the feedback that look, I mean, Brittany's going to do whatever Jared wants. And if he asks her to be his girlfriend, no matter what time it is, she's going to say yes. And she's going to be excited about it, just like she is with every woman on the show. Whenever they show any sort of niceness to her, she's like, oh my God, we're best friends. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like today, like in
instantly.
this episode, she goes and hugs Bronwyn after all of that. And I'm like, oh, she's going to think that they're best friends again because
Yeah.
Bronwyn allowed her to hug her. That's just how Britney is. That's who Britney is. I love it. I think it's incredible to watch because she is absolutely out there and I never know what she's going to do next. But I think this is reactionary to what's going on for two reasons. One, I'm pretty sure that she has secured her spot on next season already. She has shown up so much. She has to have. I know they don't really make those announcements right now, but I'm pretty sure she would be back next year. Knowing that, and also with the fans reaching out saying, yeah, Jared's a piece of shit. This is crazy. Those two things together equals him actually saying, do you want to be my girlfriend? I think
that's his idea of saving face, probably, because I know he's caught a lot of shit for this, and he clearly cares about his image. He's got a big Johnny J thing going on. But I just want people to think I'm a nice guy. It's like, well, then stop putting yourself on TV being an asshole, and we might think differently of you. I'll never understand it. I say it all the time. I don't know why these dudes expose themselves like this on TV. I'll lump Todd into that, and I'm sure Todd didn't have a whole lot of choices. It sounds like Bronwyn probably was like, I'm doing the show, get on board. And he's been fucking up, so I'm sure she had a little leverage there. But yeah, I feel like he's in a similar boat because you see him for who he is and you're like, wow, he's a piece of shit too. So all these dudes come on these shows, and I mean, we've seen it across all different franchises. You get guys on these shows and they're just horrible people, but they don't do themselves any favors. It's almost like the more they talk, the more guilty they become. They out themselves for bullshit behavior and being narcissists and being assholes. So I'm glad Jared came on the show. I agree. I think that crazy plus toxicity somehow equals longevity. I think this is going to work in some fucked up way. I don't think it's going to be a happy relationship. I think the daughter's going to be estranged. It seems like Britney has a habit of doing that, is estranging children, which might be a low blow. But I don't care.
Very mean. Yeah.
I don't care because she clearly brings it on herself because she prioritizes these dudes over her kids and her relationships with people that are close to her. She alienates everyone so she can be close to an Osmond and live on Osmond Lane. Like, that's the vibe I get. She doesn't care when push comes to shove. It's about her and her alone. And I know she's great for TV. She's wacky. She's kooky. She's fun to watch. You never know what's next with Britney. She would be a nightmare to hang out with. I would lose my mind.
Yeah, but it's weird too, because a lot of times we'll point out, oh yeah, you forget that these people are actual real people, and we do root for them in real life, and we're not going to root for anybody's downfall. Britney is in a category of her own where she is such a character of her own that on the show, off the show, whatever, I do not doubt that she is like this all the time.
Oh yeah,
and it's almost like
I don't seen the TikToks and like Instagrams of her singing in Vegas for Wicked.
I don't even think about what her life is going to become. It's almost like she is just a person that's living out there in a weird island that I'd never think about. I just watch her on TV. I'm entertained by her, but I don't know what her real life is like. And I don't really care because it's almost like she's a fake person that just pops up on my TV every week. It's great.
She's like a character in real life. She's like her playing herself in real life. I don't think it's for the camera. I think she just walks out the door and this is the character that she portrays on a daily basis. It's like, my mom went to college with this dude that would break out into song as though he was in a musical. And she gives me that vibe. Like in the cafeteria. Oh, when she was in college, if that's like you're asking when she went to school with them.
Like under which circumstances did he
like in line at the cafeteria waiting for food?
So he's got his own theme song
to narrate. No, he would sing to like. I'm saying he treated real life like a musical. Like he would just break out into song and like describe the situation that was currently happening, much like a musical. That's the vibe I get from Britney.
That's some sort of condition.
In her own musical.
Yeah.
Musicitis.
Yeah, that's definitely some sort of disorder or condition for sure. I actually like it. It's kind of entertaining.
I
might start doing it. To be fair, I actually do that to myself sometimes when I'm walking around. I've told you before that I'll sit in my car and I'll like think of a joke. And then if I laugh to myself, then it's a good joke. If I don't, then it's not. I think I've said that before. No? Nope. All right, fine.
Nope.
Otherwise,
That's how you practice your material.
Otherwise, I also sing what I'm doing. A lot of people do that, I'm sure, but I'm alone. I don't sing it around other people.
I was gonna say you're not projecting in public while you're waiting for a sandwich in line. Like, here's my sandwich. I've been waiting for a sandwich for a long time. That's that
In my
is how
head, I
would
am.
do it.
Yeah, that's actually a
Yeah.
pretty good song. I'm gonna
Thank
use
you.
that.
I'll work on that. We can workshop it. We can workshop
Yeah.
it. But look,
Yeah, we'll do it.
we've talked about Britney and her shenanigans long enough because we have to talk about them a whole lot more. So let's jump in to this week's episode, and we start out with Bronwyn and Todd, which is foreshadowing once you see the rest of the episode. And when it kicks off, and she's still doing this shit with Lisa, like, I know you're upset about it. We find out later, seemingly, what the underlying cause of this whole thing with Lisa is, because at this point, I know you're rolling your eyes because it's still played out. It's like,
Seemingly is a key word there. Yeah.
oh, you might have a different take on this then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably.
Oh God, we're gonna fight. I can feel it already. We're gonna fight in front of our members. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But no, in this moment, I'm like, all right, I know she's hurting your feelings. I know you're wanting more from her. I know she called you snobby and ungrateful. But I guess the biggest question mark for me is if this is new to her, the stuff that she's experiencing with Lisa. None of this is new to us. Like, this is all par for the course, which begs the question, what is Lisa like off camera?
I do wonder that all the time, and I've wondered it a lot more this year because Bronwyn and Lisa have been friends for so long, and the way that Bronwyn describes their friendship, it is completely different off camera. We said that immediately. Well, yeah, I'm sure people put on a different persona or they're a little bit ramped up when they come on camera, and they're sort of pushing or projecting this character that they play on TV, and they're a lot more of themselves for the most part. That seems to be what happens, and I guess maybe Lisa's a little bit more toned down. She's a little bit more chill, and she's a lot less vindictive is probably what I would imagine. But on screen, in a housewife universe, you have to be vindictive. If somebody rubs you the wrong way, if somebody does something that you don't like, you have to be petty. You have to do things to get under their skin. And Lisa does it and then makes it look like she has no idea what she's doing. Like she just did something and she's like, oh my God, I never knew that would have gotten under your skin. But deep down, she definitely knew. She's just using this over and over and over again. And she's 5 seasons into this. So it might be a way that she operates on camera that she just doesn't do off camera. I think that's probably plausible. But this made it a lot more difficult because obviously we're starting the episode over again with Bronwyn's being a baby. I called her a baby last week. She was a huge baby last week. And as the episode continued, I'm like, it's going to be a lot harder for me to call her a baby because of this. I can separate the two and we'll get to that. But right away, I'm like, enough. Just enough. Just leave it alone. Like, it's not working. It's not playing. The only reason why Angie and Whitney are listening to you is because they are at odds with Lisa too. They're fueling your fire and they're making it seem like, oh my God, Bronwyn, you're so right. They don't care. They only care about themselves. That's what a housewife is. They only care about themselves. They want to put themselves in the best position. And right now, you're all fired up about Lisa. They're going to use that against you to get to Lisa. They don't care about what the collateral damage is. So her feeding into this was bothering me last week. It's still bothering me this week. And it's just more of the same right now.
But this led to what I was hoping for. And whether you think it's them just taking advantage of the situation or not, when you get to this next scene where they're doing water aerobics, and then Whitney takes a shot at Heather and Angie for being old, which came out of left field. I know, isn't that weird?
I didn't like that. Yeah,
you can watch that back, and they're like, "Dude, what the fuck? Like, that's kind of mean." And you need friends, Whitney. You need friends on this show.
She called Justin old, and then immediately went to them.
Yeah, Justin's.
You call your husband old, and then you call them old. Weird,
right? You can pick on him, I guess. It's still weird,
sure.
But then you pick on Heather and Angie. But when they get done this workout in the pool and they're talking, they start discussing Bronwyn. And this is what I was hoping would happen in Villa 2, is that you're going to start to get people shifting focus and shifting who they're going to support. I know Heather's in Villa 1, right? So she's crossing lines. So she's crossing lines right now, which is, probably going to bite her in the ass at some point. But they feel bad for Bronwyn, and the more they're finding out about Bronwyn, and it has been tough to peel the layers back, which is ironic because she's putting herself out there in moments and getting emotional about certain things. But when you think about what she's really shared about her life up till this point, it's like she's been fairly guarded. So you want people to get to know you, you want to feel supported, but it's taken her a long time to open up. And that could be because of everything she's going through or gone through. So she's a little hesitant too. So I'm not going to fault her for that. But in this moment, you get these three feeling bad for her. And they bring up the dog bite. Todd didn't go to the ER. We all saw the dog bite. That was not like a nip. That wasn't a scratch. Like that dog fucked her up. She had holes in her leg. She had holes in her arm. And Todd's like, nah, it's just a scratch. Until Gwen confirms and like FaceTimed him and said, hey, Dick, look at this. And he's like, oh shit, better get to the ER. Another ding for Todd. It's not surprising. I really don't like this dude at all. I called it. Remember when I made the first post, how many people were like, this is just how old school businessmen are. Clearly, you guys have never been around serious businessmen. Okay. Well, if this is all serious businessmen are, I don't want to be around him because he sounds like a dick. Like, he just doesn't care about her, but they're starting to get a picture of what life is like for Bronwyn outside of the group. I think they're starting to sympathize and empathize a little bit because they have to. I mean, just hearing that story, you're gonna be like, oh shit, like what's going on at home that her husband didn't go to the hospital for severe dog bites?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And the whole idea that she, I guess, reached out to the secretary and the secretary's like, oh, he's in a meeting. We had to call him out of his meeting. Like, enough. Like, it's insane. And the whole old businessman, the serious businessman thing is such bullshit.
Thank you.
If your wife goes to the ER for whatever she's going to the ER for, you go out of the meeting. Whether you think it's like some sort of minimal scratch or whatever you thought it was, you get out because she's going to the goddamn ER. He's a douchebag. He's an asshole. We all know that. But I do want to pose a question to you. And it's slightly jumping the gun a little bit, but I do want to ask this. What's the big difference between Bronwyn and Britney? They both are complaining about the same thing, that it's really hard for these women to actually open up and get close to them. And they don't know what's going on in their lives. And it doesn't seem like they actually care. There's not a whole lot of a difference there.
There's a huge difference. It's how
I
they go
meant like
about it.
So I'm just talking about like specifically fundamentally what their issue is. It seems like both of them are like, it's really hard to get these women to just understand what I'm going through, understand what's in my life. They're both doing that. It's
fair.
kind of funny to me.
Yeah, but when you look at the way they're going about it, like,
oh well,
Britney,
yeah.
Well, I want to wait. I don't even want to talk about the announcement yet because I just want to drop that and discuss
Ding,
it all
ding,
at
ding,
once.
ding, ding, ding.
Dude, it's too much with her. But yeah, it's the way they're going about it. But yeah, I guess that's also a testament to the group because you're seeing two very different approaches.
Yep.
It is a tough group to crack. And that's also, you can see that with Heather early on where she's like, this group, like, you know, she's so protective of it ever since the Monica Garcia of it all.
Oh God.
Which is ridiculous. Like, you don't have to safeguard the group. It's housewives and people are going to come and go. You have to let them into the fucking group. But that's neither here nor there. It's yacht day and everyone gets a Vita bag. I like that Bronwyn's still taking shots at Lisa, although they're not as funny right now because she's a little too sensitive. So it's just like, what am I going to do with this bag? Like, I don't even know a good canvas bag. I'm like, yeah,
it's just constant. Like, at least, like, we know you have an issue with Lisa. If you keep harping on it, it does get annoying. You're not like hammering something home that we can't understand. It's just getting annoying. It's too much. And look, again, I'm going to separate everything later. This right now is annoying. Every time that she talks about Lisa, every time that she goes to a confessional, she's talking about Lisa. Enough. Just enough. Just move on. Try to have some fun down there. Otherwise, you're just miserable.
But she clearly can't. I mean, I think that's, again, alluding to everything she's going through. I think there's a lot more at play here. I do believe when she breaks down later. I believe a lot of that. So we'll save it for then. But let's get to the Sprinter van. Meredith is dozing off in the back. I don't know what is with Meredith and trips.
Yeah.
Because every time she goes on a trip, she gets exhausted. And she says that, I'm exhausted. Didn't sleep well. She had to get an IV when they went to wherever, the Bahamas or Bermuda last year on Monica's trip. They had to get an IV for her there. She couldn't stand up. Fast forward to this trip. And then Britney says that she heard her last, and she's not surprised because I heard her last night crying and throwing up. That one I'm still confused on. I don't know what happened with the vomiting, but the crying, All of it's confusing.
Yeah,
It's all
that's at the
confusing.
end. That's
It's
at
all
the
really
end too.
confusing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna save it. We got
yeah.
so much. This is my point, dude. There's so much shit. We're in the first fucking scene, pretty much, and we still have so much to talk about. But I don't love how Brittany goes about it. But I don't, because she's like, there's just something off. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
Inspector Gadget. Like,
we know what she means too. It's one of those situations where like we're not going to speculate on what the hell's going on there. She could just have serious issues with jet lag, with flying, with whatever the hell's going on. And then maybe she's just kind of cutting loose a little bit more, if you will, when she gets down to a vacation and she's drinking more, not drinking water. Maybe she is drinking the water and the water is messing with her stomach. I don't know what the hell's going
it's the
on.
water. Yeah,
It's the
that
water in
is the
Mexico.
water.
It's the problem always. I have no idea. I really don't know. And look, we're not going to speculate because we don't know, but it does seem like every single time we go on a trip with Meredith, she is completely checked out. It's almost like she's just like a shell of herself. As soon as she gets off that plane, she just completely turns into a different person. And we're like, what happened? What's going on here? She starts last year, she was like slurring her words at dinner. And like, yeah, we know she was drunk there, but like every time they go somewhere, there's something different and she's a different person. It's very weird.
It's very strange. It's very strange. And I mean, you could put on your psychology hat and say that maybe when she's getting away from Seth, she's doing stuff, I'm not going to say what. I'm just saying, like, maybe it's like, oh, I got a breath of fresh air. I'm going to cut loose a little bit, whatever that means. It just seems to be a recurring theme. We have a trip. Meredith shows up and she's just off. Something's a little off. But we get to yacht day. Angie goes over and helps Meredith because she can't walk in her heels.
Yep.
I don't think that's a move. I genuinely think Angie's just nice. And maybe that's me having rose-colored glasses on. I know that Angie can hit below the belt. I know we're seeing a little bit of a different side to her. I do believe at her core, she's nice. And I
think she's
vindictive. And I think she genuinely saw her and was like, I know we're at odds. Let me just help you out here.
I would say the same thing too. I think that she just innately went over to help somebody who needed help. I don't think it matters who it was, because even at the end of this, when Meredith starts to get like a little bit from somebody else, Angie's sitting over there smirking. So like there's still some issues there, but the fact that she went over to go help her is just because Angie's a nice person. I feel the same way.
Yeah, she's just nice. Now, who won? I don't know what that was. If it was a dance off or a Vogue competition or a runway competition, I need to know, both you and the comments, who won that.
I'll tell you who lost.
We did, the viewers.
No. Well, yes, we actually did lose too. No, I think Bronwyn lost. Bronwyn's sitting there judging them for dancing, and she's like, look, I have no rhythm, but going to your confessional and just making fun of all of them dancing, they're just comfortable in their own skin, having a good time. How about you get up and start dancing around? Maybe people would be friends with you.
That's nice. It's just a nice way to look at it.
Yeah. Hey, look, that's me. I'm a nice guy.
No, you're not. That's why I'm surprised that was your take on it. Usually you'd be like, they all sucked. No one has rhythm. I fucking hated it.
I mean, none of them had rhythm. Yeah. Heather did pretty well. I'll give it to Heather, because Heather actually had some movement that looked like she may have gotten down and started breakdancing, and I was excited for a second. So I'm going to say Heather.
Britney moved exactly how I expected Britney to move.
Yeah. I'm surprised she didn't start singing.
Doing that. I am too. That might have actually done her some favors. She doesn't have a terrible voice.
Yeah.
But as far as the dance moves go, it was like a constipated robot. I've seen better. I've seen what?
What's a constipated robot?
Well, it's like you're doing the robot, but you're
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're constipated doing the robot move, not a literal constipated robot.
Well, you are
impersonating.
Back up? No, you're impersonating a constipated robot. You are not constipated. You are impersonating a constipated robot. You've installed a program in the robot to make it think it's constipated. Obviously,
okay. Now we got it. Okay,
AI.
That's what I needed. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See,
nuclear fission.
Nuclear fission. Constipated robots. Terminator. End of the world.
Constipation.
BravBros. Right here.
Yeah.
Shit. Back to the yacht day. We're talking about summer plans. And it is the year of Henry. That makes me happy. And the summer of Henry, I'm glad that, for all of her shortcomings, again, we do think that Lisa's a good mom. And to see them prioritizing Henry, especially with, I'm forgetting his name now, who's off gallivanting around. Jack is down in his mission, so they're trying to. When Henry said sometimes it's easier being alone, that was the saddest shit I've ever seen. He's a kid.
He's onto something. Being alone rocks.
Yeah, when you're older, yeah, you get
Yeah, that's it. That kid,
You're not supposed to
like, but we've seen him talk before. He's very mature for his age. He knows what's going on.
He does. He is very mature for his age.
I took it as he's like a new age, like Gen Z kid he's playing video games until 4 a.m. Apparently, he's got friends online that he plays video games with. He's got friends online that he plays video games with. That's the generation. They don't knock for each other anymore, bro.
Oh my god. Can you like age yourself a little bit more? Jesus Christ. That's this generation, these damn kids and their
goddamn computer.
Their Nintendos. Like, what are you talking about? No,
he's got AI friends. He
gonna end up friends now. He's doing better. That's the whole thing. Like, he's actually asking to hang out with people and going to houses. I'm saying it was sad to hear a 12 or 13-year-old. He's entering middle school. And he's like, it's just easier to be alone sometimes. 13-year-olds aren't supposed to say that. Shooter Magooter can say that. Great. Fuck off. Nobody wants to be around you anyway. This poor kid.
He's going to be Joaquin Phoenix and her. He's just going to have a
with his AI girlfriend.
AI.
That's Scarlett Johansson's voice. I mean, he could do worse, I suppose, but
yeah. See, Mary Jo just said most of my daughter's friends are online. They even watch TV together in VR. Isn't that nice?
That's great. I'm not taking away from the experience. I'm saying, hanging out with your friends face to face is still important. Fuck off.
Steele hates Gen Z. Steele hates Gen Z.
That's a new platform. I don't hate anybody. I hate you. That's about it. But I don't hate people normally. There's like 3 on my list.
Wait, whoa.
I don't hate.
Dislike. Disdain.
I can strongly dislike and disdain. Yeah, I have disdain for many people.
Yeah.
I don't hate people because I also am the person that does not believe that people are inherently bad. You are not that.
Oh,
so, yeah, exactly. I don't think that people are
product
inherently
of their
bad.
environment.
That's what I think. That's not inherently bad. Inherently bad means you're born that way. You need a lesson.
Inherently selfish.
What are you?
I think that's what I said. That's what I said. They were.
You said inherently bad.
You said that if everything turned into an apocalyptic world, what would happen? Would people be good or bad? And I said absolutely bad.
I said that people would do what they had to do out of necessity. It doesn't make them bad people.
And help each other. Oh, yeah, it does.
I didn't say help each other. I said it doesn't make you a bad person.
You
what
said
are we talking
people
about?
would build
Welcome
a nice
to apocalypse, bros. What the? Can we get back on track here, please?
Can we go back to Christ Bros?
Yeah, that's much more. That's much more our speed, I think. But during this Henry conversation, which is a nice conversation, right? So this is what we needed from Ryan Stoneman. Gen Z are lazy. Don't get me started on calling younger generations lazy. It is hard as shit out here. Okay, that's funny though. That's a very funny comment.
Okay, all right.
But we need to move on. My point is,
do.
While they're talking about Henry, which is a nice scene, Britney chimes in and goes, when I told you guys last night about Olivia, all I got was crickets. I didn't get anything. When I make announcements, you guys don't ever seem supportive. You don't seem to care, and I'm upset. And Bronwyn chimes in. It's like, well, the difference is we know Henry, which no, I don't think that's I mean, yeah, sure, but you could also the difference is, Britney, no one really knows you. You haven't made emotional connections with these people. The first time you gave an announcement, you didn't know half the table, and then you started talking about Jared Osmond and the fact that you were moving on from him finally. I'm officially broken up with him. And then we've had to listen to you do another ding, ding, ding announcement because you guys are officially dating. Who the fuck knows? When you do this and make these awkward announcements out of left field when the situation doesn't call for a sentimental moment, people aren't going to take it seriously. They're going to say, what the fuck was that? That was random as hell. And they don't know you on that level. When they sit here and listen to Lisa, most of them have known Lisa for a long time. Most of them know Henry, as they pointed out. So when she talks about this, they also know Jack, who's gone. So they're also like, oh, Henry must be sad. Here's what's going on with Henry, everybody. Aw, glad to hear he's doing better. Not, this is so fun. First drink stop. Vita tequila, baby. Ding, ding, ding. I talked to my daughter for the first time after estranging her for 10 years, everybody. She slept over.
I think it was 6 months, but yeah.
Like, it's just, of course, no one reacts. What are you
No,
doing?
here's Britney in a nutshell. We learned early on that she had not talked to her daughters in a very long time. We
Mhm.
never got answers for that. There was no further discussion about that. Mary pointed things out. We don't know anything about you. You have no relationship with your daughters. Why? Brittany doesn't go deeper than that. She doesn't tell anybody what's going on. She doesn't tell anybody about what things happened in her life. Instead, the first actual announcement that she makes is, well, yeah, I'm back with Jared Osman. You're back with a toxic asshole, but we don't get an update on your daughters. If you had then stopped back in and said, I know I didn't go any deeper, but I just started hanging out with my daughters again and I'm repairing a relationship. Good for you, Brittany. That's incredible. But you keep going back to this whole Jared Osman thing and nobody gives a shit because he's a toxic piece of shit. That's where we are. So all of your announcements are about him. And then you make an announcement about your daughters. We never got any answers to begin with. So it shows where your priorities are. And that's where Brittany is. That's me treating Brittany like a real person. I still don't think she's real. I think she's fake. I think she's made up. But, for my
She's
entertainment.
AI for the show.
Mhm.
Bravo got an AI robot and typed in "be a housewife," and this is what you get. But I think Bronwyn says, I mean, it's mean as shit, but I think she nails it. Honestly, she's like, "Are you happy to make an announcement, or are you happy to be back in touch with your daughter?" And honestly, that's my question too, because it does seem like when you have these moments of moving forward with Jared or your daughters or whatever, you have this milestone, quote unquote. I'll use that term loosely because we don't know what's going to happen next week. But you have these big moments in your life, and it seems like you're more excited to tell people and get praise or a pat on the back or sympathy or empathy or whatever the fuck. You're more excited to tell people than you are about the actual situation. If you're excited about the situation, then when you were one-on-one with some of the ladies, you would have sat down and been like, oh my God, the greatest thing happened the other day. Like Olivia came over and she slept out. You wouldn't sit down at the table after having conversations about everything else and then out of left field go ding, ding, ding. I talked to my daughter. She slept over. It's like, why is this coming up now in front of the camera, in front of everybody? Why not take the time to talk and get closer?
Because she
to
doesn't have any. She doesn't have any one-on-one scenes. She had one with Heather because she doesn't try.
Would. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm with you. Yeah. No, she doesn't try to have the one-on-one scenes. She doesn't try to sit down with anybody and talk about anything. All she does is everything is in a group setting. Now I get it. Like, yeah, the only times that we usually see you are in group settings, but that's probably because you're not making an effort. How many times have we seen friends of show up with somebody else and they're sitting down because something happened? It seems like nobody gives a shit about Britney because it seems like she doesn't want to share anything that's going on in her life except for Jared Osman. So why would they?
That's a good point. And that's what Brooke Quatney said. Britney has no game, no chill, and no ability to segue into conversation. She just makes random announcements for attention. I think that's perfectly put. I think that's exactly what Bronwyn said. That's what she finds these moments to get more attention herself and tries to grab the spotlight. And it never lands because she has no tact. It's just so random that everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
We didn't even know that you had a daughter named Olivia until now. We just knew you didn't like talk to your kids. So I don't know. She calls Bronwyn a fucking bitch, which escalated really quickly, and just says, I get no support. And Bronwyn looks to Lisa, and I was like, dude,
enough.
Come on. And Lisa, who I don't agree with very often anymore, was like, I don't know why if you're mad at somebody or if you're fighting with somebody, I have to fight with them too. Like, you're a big girl. You can handle your own shit. I understand wanting support from your friends. I understand wanting to feel backed up. In this moment, handle your business. Tell Brittany to shut the fuck up, deal with it, move on. Like, I don't think you need Lisa's support here. And I don't think that this is a testament to what kind of friend Lisa Barlow is. I think this is other people staying out of this because it's an easy shutdown. Don't call me a fucking bitch. You don't need other people to jump in and say that. You can say that. You've shown multiple times that you can handle yourself. So handle your business. Go tell Brittany to jump off the yacht. Like, do something about it.
At the same time, and as much as I agree with what Bronwyn had said to Brittany, you can't say that. You can't just say that in the middle of this. Like,
without any backlash.
Obviously, it is insane that she's having this announcement right now. Nobody really cares. And of course, they're going to look at her and say, well, we don't know anything about what's going on in your life. So why would we respond to that? We don't know how to respond to the things that you say. You always make these announcements. We don't know what to do. Bronwyn saying that, while true, is bitchy. So handle your shit. You're going to get backlash. Britney is welcome to come back at you and then handle it. You can't look to Lisa or somebody else every single time that you get into trouble. It's annoying. It's too much. And it's like, again, she's just trying to further the point that for whatever reason, she feels like Lisa's alienating her and she's upset and she's crying about it and being a huge baby. That's all she's doing. And I agree with Lisa. You can't do this. Handle your shit.
No, I think she should have handled business right here. I do think this conversation that comes out of it explains a lot as to why she is overly sensitive to certain things, because she starts saying, like, she kind of snaps and she's like, nobody asks me questions about me. Nobody wants to get to know me on a deeper level. Nobody wants to ask. And it takes like a hard right turn. And she's like, nobody asked me about Todd or what it's like being married to somebody older or that wealthy or the infidelity. And it's like, skirt, what? Like, whoa, this came out of nowhere. What do you mean? Todd cheated on you? Why? Are you okay? Like, that's when she finally gets some people's attention. Britney, take notes. If you want to drop a bomb, this is how you do it to get attention from people. So
I think if Britney had said my ex-husband cheated on me, I don't think anybody would bat an eye.
No, God, that's
like, let's be honest here. If she made an announcement and said this, or in the middle of some sort of issue that she had, everybody would be like, all right, Britney, we're done.
Yeah, probably. You're right. But they ask more. All right, what happened? How'd you find out? The way she found out sucks.
Yeah.
Because I guess Todd was texting another woman and Gwen, her daughter, over the shoulder saw it and then told her. She confronted Todd about it. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I think it fucking sucks that she feels the need to defend him even in this moment. And it's a glimpse behind the curtain of what their marriage is. He's rich and wealthy and gives her this life, so she has to accept certain things and bend the knee to him to stay in his good graces, to continue to live the lifestyle that she wants to live, which is made very apparent when she's like, it's his fatal flaw. He's admitted it. It's the same way with business. He's never satisfied. I'm like, oh my God, do you hear what you just said about yourself? You're not good enough. Which, by the way, that's just simply not true. You're very intelligent, intriguing, beautiful. You offer a lot to the world. You're more than enough. But Todd has made you feel like you're not enough. And in this moment, you're still defending him, saying that's his fatal flaw. He's never satisfied. That's one of the saddest things I think I've ever heard about a marriage. He cheated because he's never satisfied. And I know that about him. So it's okay. What?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. And the fact that she starts making excuses right away. Like you said, it gives you a glimpse behind the curtain as to what their relationship is and how she values herself in the relationship, which is really sad. It's brutal. The entire thing is brutal. And since day one, we liked Todd originally just because we thought he was quirky. He's not quirky.
He had cat sweaters on. No, he's just
cat sweaters on. He's just a piece of shit. That's all it is. And Bronwyn making excuses right away is showing what her trauma is showing how she sees herself in the relationship. And that really fucking sucks that she had to break down like this. I will say, you can't lean on this and say, nobody ever asked me any questions. She came in hot. We gave her praise for it, but she came in hot. She immediately went after people that were saying things. She went after Britney as soon as she started talking. She went after a bunch of people just for talking and saying things. And she was asking questions and stirring up shit. We thought she was playing the game really well, but you can't have it both ways, unfortunately. That's the only thing. I'm not doubting the validity of this. I think it's true. The way that she broke down, I thought was very real. Too. Of course, like I wouldn't say that any other way, but you can't expect people to then sit down with you like a Heather who you had beef with for fucking no reason, really. And you're expecting them to sit down with you and say, so what's going on behind the curtain? How's your life? What's your relationship like with Todd? You got so up in arms when people started talking about how you married him and he's an older guy and he's just a sugar daddy. And, you don't have a prenup. There's so many things going on there. There were opportunities for you to share with the group. You can't be mad at the group for not asking you more questions the way that she's been acting. I mean, Britney, same thing. It's the exact same thing for Britney. Everything she says is off the fucking cuff. You want people to then sit down with you and say, so what's really going on? Nobody's going to do that. Nobody on any franchise is going to do that. Nobody in real life is going to do that if you're going to act that way. So that's the problem. And then turning it to Lisa is insane. It's just she's got this like fixation on Lisa and her relationship and her friendship right now that she can't let go of. And I think my issue with this right now, again, not questioning the validity of it, she got backed into a corner. because now she's finally hit her breaking point with Lisa. She feels like she's not getting through. Lisa's not responding the way that she would hope. She's not defending her against Britney, of all people, who, by the way, Bronwyn of 3 or 4 weeks ago should be able to just swat Britney out of the way. Britney shouldn't be a threat to you, shouldn't be an issue. Why are you looking for help for Britney? You can handle that in a heartbeat. So now that didn't work out. And then you look to Lisa for help. She's not going to give you help. And then you bring this up. That's my problem with it. The timing of it is suspicious. The timing of it all is, oh my God, this isn't working for me. I'm going to divulge this information and just stop the show. And then everybody's going to come to me and give me a hug. That's what it
but
looked
it's
like.
not like we haven't seen that move before. And I don't hate it. Like, just the fact that she divulges it and allows people to see past certain things and like finally open up, whether it was manufactured or not, I think is an important step for her to, one, have longevity on this show, and two, to get some friends on this show, because now people can resonate. Now people can listen to that and be like, oh shit. You get somebody like Heather that's like, I totally get where you're coming from. I know exactly what this feels like because this was my marriage. So it's an important step. Whether it's manufactured or not, we can sit here and debate that back and forth. But I do think it was an important move by her. I think the most interesting thing is the initial response from Lisa is like, that's hard to believe. I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. That's a really weird thing to say. But I brushed it off. I'm like, all right, maybe she's just taken aback because she's known Bronwyn for so long and she thinks that she should have heard it by now. Maybe that's not as bad as I think it is, right? But they ask her, like, you know, what did he do? How'd you guys resolve it? She's like, well, he bought me a diamond ring with 5 diamonds and 5 new promises as to what he's going to do to preserve our relationship and make it up to me, which is a big crock of shit. He bought you a shut up ring so that you don't make a big deal out of it, because this is his fatal flaw. I'm a high power businessman. I'm never satisfied. That's for everything in my life. You get it, Bronwyn. Here's a ring. Here's a $4 million necklace, which I still am calling bullshit on from when they were in Palm Springs or whatever. There's no way. There's just no way. But that's a different podcast for a different day. But she continues to open up and she's like, you know, I feel like if I'm not overly affectionate, overly supportive, overly physical, whatever the fuck she needs to do to keep him happy, that he's going to do it again. So again, this shows you this relationship. He cheated on her and she is still doing everything in her power to keep him happy so he doesn't cheat again. Not so they can be happy or he can see the error in his ways. She's trying to keep him faithful. That should not be a job. You shouldn't have to work to keep your spouse faithful. That's fucking nuts. And she's so accepting of it that, say what you want. There's people in the comments saying she's playing it up, which is, you know, have your opinion. That's fine. But this is pretty cut and dry to me, where it shows you what this marriage is. It is 100% what we perceived it early on, where it's the rich guy, rich older man, younger wife. But it sounds like it's not a gold digger situation where she just is like, because if that was the case, that would have been the best thing possible, is to catch him cheating. Because now she's like, great, give me my money. You go off for the week. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Just keep the paychecks coming in and we're fine. The fact that she has this emotional response to it tells me that she's actually invested in this marriage. He could give a shit.